It will be a feeling of deja vu when Manchester United takes on the noisy neighbours in blue, Manchester City, in the Manchester Derby, which reminds us of arguably the best game of last season. We saved the best for last as we beat them to win the FA Cup that is in front of a fully packed Wembley Stadium. This is the game, I should say, that saved the job of Eric Ten Hag. Question is, with us meeting again to a game that curtain raises for the new season, the 2024-2025 English football season, are we ready to do them dirty again? Welcome to the Network Sport. Like, share, and subscribe. And I'm here to give you my early preview of Manchester United up against Manchester City in the Community Shield. Now, we know that Manchester City, at least by now, by the time we drop this video, has not really done a lot of business, only selling Julian Alvarez. I think it's the only major business they have done, but that's not an addition to the team. It's taking away a player who probably was fairly important based on the level of the game, because in Man City, Pep Guardiola never played Julian Alvarez in the big games. Perhaps that is why he felt, I should move on and go to Atletico, where I will be eulogized like the Ballon d'Or winner, or the best footballer in the world. And indeed, he went for a huge fee. That's about 90 million euros. And Man City made a lot of profit on him, so they won't be feeling bad. Whether they get a replacement for him or not, I don't know. But what I know is that they, I think, are the team that has the most stability, because they have had little additions to their team, meaning the players know each other. So certainly they have had a lot of a lot of time to work on themselves. But they take on a Man United that still, in their worst, was able to beat them convincingly. By the way, in case you forgot, in that game, Kobe Maino and Bruno teamed up to form something hitherto unseen, I think, in football. That no look pass from Bruno to Kobe and the finish from Kobe. Boy, our teenagers were at it in that one as we lifted the FA Cup title. But listen, we are going into the season, and I feel like we need to have a proper assessment of where we are on a scale of 1 to 10. How are we standing? We've only made two marquee signings. That's Joshua Zirkzee, a striker, unproven when it comes to this stage. We've also signed an 18-year-old generational talent who is injured. And Eric Ten Hag has given an update on him, saying he sees the fire in him and he knows he has got the mentality to be able to fight through the ordeal and be able to return after 3 months and add his contribution to the team. That's Lenny Yoro. But these two, I will tell you, are not enough. Now, it is just hours away to this game, and you look at Manchester United, and I'm thinking, listen, if for any reason Manchester United, and it can happen, by the way, if for any reason Manchester United fails to make more signings this summer or before the start of the season, which can happen. Why? Because we are in a sell to buy situation, or we are in a situation where we've got to let go of certain players if we are going to get the money to bring in new ones, to clear the wage bill, to be able to even pay for new players. So we are in a proper clear sell to buy situation where we are locked, we are trapped in a situation with players who have got big long contracts. They don't want to terminate these contracts. They don't want to be sold. If you're selling them, they want to give you conditions where they get some money. That's the case with Aaron Wan-Bissaka. We know that Man United has agreed with West Ham, but Man United has now got to deal with Aaron Wan-Bissaka. So we are in a tight situation, and that's the case with most of the other players that we want to let go of. Even Casemiro, the reason he's not moving a muscle and is silent, yet he's exposing himself game after game, is because he's on a heavy contract, £340,000 per week. Yet United are saying, that's too much money, we don't need you, go, so that we get the money, we ease our wage bill for us to be able to pay new players who come in. But these players are saying, we're not leaving just like that. So it's a tight situation. So for me, if I look at the Manchester United season, honestly, I think we have not solved the biggest issues we have. And yes, we always needed a replacement for Anthony Martial. We needed a backup striker, important, given. But if you are to prioritize the positions Man United needed to sort this summer, for me, number one was always a replacement for Casemiro, a number 6. That was, for me, always number one. And there are people who felt like the central defense was the biggest problem. I think before you get to the central defense, you first got through the middle of Man United, and they made it so easy, so easy. Man United's midfield was like a walkway. They made it so easy to go through us because we did not have the right number 6. The ones we had were not at the level of the Premier League. The intensity of the Premier League, the intensity of the Champions League where we're playing was way too high for them. So Man United needed first to sign Manuel Ugarte. My feeling is our priorities were not handled right. We knew we did not have a lot of money. The little we got from the sale of Mason Greenwood and whichever other sources we had, because I think before the sale of Greenwood, we had about 35 million pounds. That's what we had available to buy players, or at most 40 million pounds. Now, instead of using that money to first prioritize and say, okay, it's like going to a market, because this is a market. We are in a transfer market. When you're going to a market, you always have your shopping list, a checklist. And on your shopping list, there are the needs that come first. This is why I'm going to the market. I need to buy a pair of jeans. That's my need right now. I have no jeans. I don't want to walk naked. There are wants. So if I get my jean, if there is another need, I need a sauce for tonight. Those are the real needs I have. If I get those and I have some change, I can buy a t-shirt. But there are also things if I make some savings as well, I can add on. If I find a nice cape, I would add it on. So that's how you make that checklist. That's how you go into a market. If you go into a market, I don't know, guys, if you've shopped before. If you walked into a market without a checklist, a proper plan of what you want to buy, you end up buying a bunch of things you don't need. And you reach home and realize, I actually did not buy the things I really needed. That's exactly what Man United is doing. And not to say that they didn't need Joshua Zirkzee, they didn't need Lenny Yoro, but they are not the priorities United should have had, given considering that they didn't have a big budget. So right now, it would be okay for Man United to struggle in this sell to buy situation with players they want to let go of without a backup striker for Højlund, because goals were being scored somehow. You can struggle and figure it out as you find the sources for that money. But the biggest elephant in the United room was the number 6. So before you were going to spend so much money on Lenny Yoro, first spend on Manuel Ugarte. First spend on a centre back, because these are the biggest positions needed to sort. But where we are now, whereas we've made 2 signings, and I think of the big clubs in England, except Chelsea, United has made the most signings, more than Arsenal. I think on a scale of 1 to 10, I would give Manchester United 2.5, less than 3 out of 10. We are below average in our business. Because if the season started now, look, guys, honestly, think about it. We are going to play Man City on Saturday. If we are like the way we are with the signings we made, shall we have made any change, any improvement on the squad? Is there any glaring improvement you can look at and say, yes, United has improved in this area on the squad we had last season? I don't think so. Well, it could take maybe a masterclass from certain individuals, the Kobe's again, but we are where we are. Same injuries, same players largely. Erik ten Hag has the same pool of players largely to work with. So except Joshua Zirkzee, what else? But before you get to Zirkzee, who is going to play in the midfield where we are leaking goals for fun? So you realize, for me, if United does not sign a number 6 and a centre back, and forget about Mazraoui, yes, he's important, but I'm saying that important positions in a situation where you don't have money, first sort your most important positions. And you see what clubs are doing now. They have made it so difficult for Man United, because they saw Man United spend money on Lenny Yoro without clear direction, spend splashing money on Lenny Yoro, rushing to hijack moves of players who are reportedly done with to join AC Milan and stuff. And these clubs that are having, the big clubs, the PSGs, the Bayern Munich, are saying, but you people, how are you spending? You claim not to have money because of PSR, and you're spending so much money on players who have got a year left on their contract. Young 18-year-old kids, a player who Real Madrid are saying we cannot pay more than 30 million pounds for. Man United is rushing to pay 52 million. Now, what does that show to a Bayern that has a delete who Man United desperately needs, that PSG that has Emmanuel Ugarte who Manchester United desperately needs? The priorities for me were mishandled, and we have put ourselves in a tight situation that is leaving us with little to no improvement as we head into the season. So, to answer the question I posed at the start, is Manchester United ready for the new season? From where we are on the pitch, not yet. Over time, when we bring in the signings, when eventually things open up and these players go, the Scott McTominays, the Eriksens, the players who want to leave, the Casemiros, and we bring in the new players, of course, we've fully constituted the backroom staff to gift us a good squad. But in terms of personnel on the pitch, we have not done much. Unless now the only hope is maybe the same players we have could turn out to be different beasts with this management now and the change of things and structure around them. Maybe that's the hope we should have. But in terms of personnel and the squad, I don't think Man United is really, really ready. That's my honest opinion. My name is Webb. Drop a comment and let me know what you think. But expect something could change between now. If we sign Delete, if we sign a number 6, a holding midfielder, then things will change. We shall go from 2.5 out of 10 to probably 7 or even close to 8 out of 10. If we just make 2 signings, will change. For now, we are still backward when it comes to improving the squad. Subscribe. I'll catch you later.